Alright, we've got some stuff to do before we move on. We do have to head back to Traverse Town before we can move on to the next world, but first let's head over to Olympus Coliseum and do the next tournament.
You know, I use this Keyblade a lot, but now that I know it probably has the shortest reach, that explains a lot of frustration at some points.
It is a good Keyblade at this point in the game, otherwise I wouldn't be using it. It is very stubby, but I would say that its other stats make up for that, but eventually you get much better ones.
I would love a mod that lets you choose the functionality of the Keyblade you want, separate from the aesthetic of the Keyblade you want.
The problem is that the aesthetic is part of the functionality because length is a very important stat for Keyblades.
You'd end up having an invisible hitbox situation if I were to use... What's the name of this one?
Fairy Harp.
Okay.
Yeah, and but we will be getting some Keyblades today, and we'll be able to talk about good ones and very, very bad ones.
Yay.
Alright, time for the Hercules Cup. This is effectively the end of the main story of the Hercules world, sort of. But yeah, we'll be taking on it today. This is the third cup. The first one was Phil, and then Pegasus, and now Hercules.
In this game, all of the secret boss stuff is here, right? Or optional boss?
No, it's got more than its fair share of optional boss stuff, but not all of it is here.
Okay. Because I recall...
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, what happened?
Go ahead.
No, that's...
I'll cover that in a second.
Oh, all I'm saying is just, I know 2 has, like, I can think of much more iconic, like, non-Coliseum fights in 2.
Now, there's more optional bosses outside of Olympus Coliseum than in, but it has more than any other one world. So we're fighting Cloud again.
He is just annihilating Donald Goofy.
But you can see how Guard is very effective against him, being able to stop his attacks. But yeah, so that enemy that I pointed out earlier, that blue mushroom heartless, that is a rare truffle. Those are a way for you to... They're sort of mini-game-esque. Heartless, not like the other ones that give you exclusive synthesis materials, but they can be used for power leveling. When you hit a rare truffle, you get 1 tech points, and then it pops it into the air. If you can hit it again before it hits the ground, you'll get 2 tech points, and pops up again. And you keep on doing that, juggling it, and if you can get it all the way up to 100 juggles, then you'll get a ton of EXP, and the rare truffle can drop some good stuff. I believe mathematically it comes out to like 5,050 EXP off of that rare truffle.
Wow.
And they do spawn in certain areas, like in one room in Monstro, but the environment isn't always conducive to them. Rare truffle always spawns here in the Hades Coliseum. Unfortunately, they don't drop anything, but given that this area is just a simple square, it's much more controlled to be able to do the rare truffle. So, in some instances, that can be a good option for leveling.
How is he flying?
He's Cloud. It's Final Fantasy VII. Of course they can fly. It's cool.
Oh, like the little attack animation.
Also, I just noticed, like, I always knew that Cloud in this game had a wing on him, but I think the wing only appeared when he was flying.
Oh, I didn't even notice the wing.
Ah, Metal Chocobo. Got that Keyblade.
It is funny, the parallel between you have Cloud, and then you have Sora, which his name means, like, sky?
Sora means sky, yes.
Yeah.
Alright.
Show me what you got.
Hold on, Herc. Let's go one-on-one for no reason. Yeah, so just suddenly we're gonna fight Hercules on our own.
Good luck, Sora. Huh. You're gonna die. We finally get to me being able to talk about my headcanon about this fight.
Oh?
So, you can see that he's invincible here.
Yeah, when he's got the glow, he's invincible.
He's in God mode, as it will. So, I'm gonna watch this fight and see if my theory was wrong. Or at least, my terrible, stupid theory.
Yeah, so you have to pick up one of these barrels and throw it on him, and then that knocks the aura out of him, and you can damage him again. And this sword spin is really annoying because it can last a long time. There's nothing you can do about it but dodge.
So the first time I fought him, my thought was the reason he loses his invincibility is that he becomes cocky and loses his, like, divine grace for a bit until you humble him with a barrel. But that's stupid, and it doesn't make sense based on these animations I'm seeing. But I do like the reference that he's, like, technically, he's still ascended from the end of the movie, so that's a nice touch.
Yeah. Yeah, it's assumed that the events of Hercules already happened in some form. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's something that I don't think I knew about the first few times I played the game, is you just guard when he does the headbutt rush at you and get some tech points and stun him.
Now that I think about it, and that is, I do like that effect of that attack. He does lose his glow at the end of the movie, but I do like here showing that. It's like, you know, he only kind of lost it. You know how there was, like, an animated series of Aladdin?
Yeah.
There was also an animated series of Hercules, but it takes place
I did know about that, never saw it.
And strangely enough, there is a crossover episode with the Aladdin series and the Hercules series. It's weird.
I mean, if I were to do an animated series of Hercules, I would want it either after the end of the film or during his Thebes period when he's a rising star.
Yeah, like, this is like the Emperor's New School, where it's like he's kind of a teenager.
Never watched any of those Disney animated shows. I didn't have a Disney Channel. So.
I only pretty much know about the memes. Oh.
Yeah, Goofy can use Herc's shield now. It's actually pretty good.
Press X to doubt.
Now I finally know what you mean about strength of heart. Mine comes from Donald and Goofy. Come again? If we stick together, we're unbeatable.
Says the guy who just fought him one-on-one.
I think this cutscene is an example of you'll find what you're looking for even if it's not there.
Of course, your friends give you strength. Isn't that right, Phil? The three of you together make great heroes. And as a team, I'm sure you can overcome anything.
Like, Sora was always going to come to this conclusion. It's the conclusion he wants. Oh! There we go. We got another Keyblade, Olympia.
Yellow Trinity.
Yeah, so in one cup, we got 2 Keyblades. So let's take a look at them, shall we? Wah, wah.
Huh. Oh.
Compare that to Olympia. It's shorter, but it has, like, equal or higher attack, and it doesn't reduce your MP. Metal Chocobo is the go-to example for Keyblades in this series. They're worthless as soon as you get them.
It's funny, because it's called Metal Chocobo, yet it looks like it's made out of a single block of wood, even more so than the wooden sword you get at the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm. We have the Yellow Trinity. We're gonna move this finally. And reveal... Eh?
I was scared.
It's the keyhole.
Oh, that's stupid.
It was right there. Hercules could have moved it at any time. But hey, at least we're locking this keyhole with the appropriate keyblade.
Oh, yeah. I kind of wish it always did that.
I mean, typically you don't get the keyblade until the world is over, and that means that the keyhole is already sealed.
Right. In fact, it's in sealing the keyhole you usually then get the keyblade, right?
Yep. But yeah, so Metal Chocobo, I believe, is the longest keyblade in the game, and that can have some applications. Like, remember that Tigger minigame with the pot?
Uh-huh.
I believe Metal Chocobo is the best keyblade to use for that one specifically, but because it reduces your MP by 1, it's basically worthless.
Oh.
And it says that it has, like, incredible power, but we just got Olympia, and it has the same attack power, so...
I wonder if it was, like, at some point in development they, like, changed its stats or something.
I don't know. Maybe it's a thing of, like, it has really great critical hits for how strong it is, and but it's... I don't know. No one uses Metal Chocobo. Just use Olympia.
I mean, it's so ugly, too.
It's not my favorite design, no.
I once had a Master Sword commissioned from a kid in high school where he made it out of wood, and it very similarly was just blocky and terrible. To be fair, I paid $10, so I should not have expected anything, but yeah, it's funny to see a... Sora would cut hit... I think the MP loss comes from him cutting his hand on those sharp Minecraft edges of that sword. Well, blade, rather.
Alright, let's check in with the 101 Dalmatians.
Who let the dogs in? Okay, no, that was terrible. -8. No, I meant mine. Oh, never mind.
Alright, what did we get? Thundara G. It's okay, I guess.
Oh.
Mithril Shard, eh.
Okay.
Torn page,
Hey!
there we go. I believe that's the last torn page, so we can head off to complete the 100 Acre Wood now.
How many dogs are you up to now?
I don't recall. Maybe somewhere in like the 60 range?
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't expect you to just know that, but it is hard to get a sense of how far you've gone.
Well, I did somewhat keep track of it at this point in the game, so yeah.
Donald is me anytime I'm asked to lift anything heavy with a group of people, being a fairly short man and a tall person land.
Hardest jump in the game.
Oh, this hitbox looks bad.
Yeah, it's a very awkward little ledge that they propped this up on.
I should look up where the -2 meme comes from when you say a bad pun while streaming. Yeah, I hate stupid jumps like that, where it's just like, this is not... There's no way this was meant to be this hard.
We also have glide, so we can head over and get this one. Speaking of puppies, this is... I always remember that this is where puppies 1, 2, and 3 are.
Oh, that's fun. So if you fall in this water, you just warp back to the first of the room, right?
You have to swim back to the front of the room.
Oh, so there's no way to get up to that chest without gliding?
Nope. Otherwise, I would have gotten it sooner.
Right.
All right, back to the 10 by 10 acres wood.
You know, I've never been able to hold in my mind how big an acre is.
Me neither.
This is a weird area.
It's the muddy path.
I've never heard of that. Is that a
I want to
thing?
say that this is... I want to say that this is where Pooh was like following his own tracks and thinking he was following a woozle.
Oh wow, that brings memories flooding back. Speaking of fading, I like how the footsteps are fading from Sora. That was a neat touch. Huh. It's funny. There's a bush in my yard that's very similar to this thing.
And this central bush is actually kind of important to this little mini game here.
Makes sense.
It's our home base. Yeah, since we're mostly just heading back to places we've already been to, I'm a little light on trivia this part.
You know, cleanup is tricky.
Although I do have some trivia I think I may have missed. Sebastian's voice actor here is Kevin Michael Richardson. He was voiced by Samuel E. Wright in the original film, marking the first time that Sebastian was voiced by someone other than him.
Oh, you mean when we go back to Atlantica?
Yeah, so I think I just missed the Sebastian's voice actor stuff. As well as Selphie. Selphie is voiced by Molly Marlette here, which I don't think is her original voice actor from Final Fantasy.
Okay. Oh no,
Yeah.
it's a second person game.
Yeah, so we gotta find all of the various Pooh friends we've made along the way, and we generally have to guide Pooh over to do it.
It's time for the real treasure.
Yeah.
The real treasure is the friends we'll find along the way. Anyway.
Quite literally, yeah. This is one of the easier... This one's annoying, but it's one of the easier ones to get the requisite score to get cheer.
I assume you're at the mercy of Pooh's AI?
A little bit. It's not so much AI as much as just, you know, he's kind of slow and you're trying to coax him into certain spots.
And there's no
falling down sucks.
He can. Oh, I see. He can fall down.
I can fall down,
see.
Then I have to jump. You can't just jump up. You have to get into the little well there that's got wind going up.
It's a shame because this seems like the kind of minigame where somebody would find a way to like push Pooh with your hitbox or something.
I'm not sure what the speed run is on this minigame, but it might be something like that.
Yeah. It's always a blessing when you can do that kind of stupid nudging.
I also love how whenever Pooh is like facing a different way, his model just rotates.
Yeah. I'm using tank controls. I will point out that those are the deep jungle butterflies.
I believe they are, yeah. So, with this well, sometimes it spits you out to one side of this little area here. Sometimes it sends you to the other ledge. And I'm not sure what the logic is on how it decides which when it sends you to.
This little minigame reminds me of, in Cowboy Pooh, the inciting incident of the episode is they're playing a game called Guess Who's Sleeping, to which they're even debating how the rules of their own game even works.
Oh, it can even eject you onto the log, that's right. So yeah, I'm super not sure. Alright, so right here, there's actually two ways you can do this. You can either get Pooh to walk through the log or on top of it. And you have to... I opened up either way so that he could do whatever he wanted, but I got him onto the top, because I think I usually, in the past, this might be the first time I got him on the top, I would always have him go through before.
What is better, really?
I don't think that there is anything better. Probably just the one that you can get Pooh to consistently go on, / is easiest for you to open the way for. Which would probably be the top, I guess. Get on the flowers. There we go.
You know, you don't really think about how heavy he is, but he can't be that heavy if he's lifted by butterflies. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'm trying to think if if the butterflies... I lost my train of thought for a second there. If the butterflies was a thing that is from a piece of Pooh media, of him being lifted up by a flower carried by butterflies, or if that was something that this game came up with.
You said piece of Pooh. I'm not mature. It's funny.
Do the whole Beavis and Butthead thing.
Oh, gosh. I used to think that show was really dumb and who could possibly like it, and then my brother showed me. I'm like, oh, the show is about laughing at them. Which is...
Yeah.
So, while we're here in Pooh Land, have you ever played any other Pooh games?
I'm trying to think. Maybe there was like a point-and-click one on the PC that I played when I was really little.
Because there's Tigger's Honey Hunt, which is a side-scroller collectathon.
But then there's also the home run derby that is the,
the infamous home run derby.
Mm-hmm. Hey, EXP ring, our first bit of EXP boosting accessories.
Yay! Ooh,
so glad
that's
we're
pretty.
all together again. I didn't know what to do when I was all alone.
So here we have one of the rare voiced 100 Acre Wood cutscenes. And we can very clearly see the characters that had voice actors and the ones that didn't.
Lonely? Are you kidding? I'm a Tigger! The most wonderful thing about Tiggers is I'm the only one. But I do admit, friends are awfully fun too. Sink, sink, sink.
Hey, Pooh. What are you thinking about now?
This is a pretty iconic cutscene, I want to say, that it's been referenced back to a bunch of times.
Well, I'm off.
Sora, where are you going?
I'm gonna go look for my friends. They're waiting for me.
Won't sound back again.
So they can't leave this world, can they?
Find your friends.
No, I don't think they can.
Huh.
I don't think that they're aware, or at least most of them aren't aware that the nature of their world is a storybook inside a larger world.
Huh. Sora's Adventures in Flatland. Oh man, Gravity Falls would be an amazing Kingdom Hearts world.
Everybody do your animation.
Yay.
Sora, don't forget, we shall always be here.
Tinkle, tinkle,
gone.
tinkle, tinkle.
Would like to visit again, that is.
Aw. I'll always have a soft spot for Winnie the Pooh thanks to my childhood.
Me too.
Is that to be understood that Sora yeeting off, or...?
No, I think that's just a magical little moment to end off the 100 Acre Wood.
There is a reference in the original one with Eeyore that I feel like that... Oh, that's cute. I like that.
Mm-hmm. And where was the keyhole? Right there. How Sora locked it, I'll never know. And why he couldn't have locked it earlier.
So I know that we see these guys in Kingdom Hearts 3, and they're still stuck in the book.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's been very consistent that it's just the book throughout the entire series every time they've ever been there. It's not a world unto itself. Because
you could almost argue that maybe it exists out there in, like, the ocean of worlds.
A portal to it?
Yeah.
I mean, ripping pages out of the book does affect it. All right, so here's the honey pots. They're all filled up. So off screen, I completed the couple of mini games that I didn't get the high score for on screen. So we helped Pooh get honey from the bees. We protected Rabbit's carrots. You helped find Eeyore's lost tail. You bounced along with Tigger and Roo. And you found all of us when we were lost. And you did all of it within an arbitrary time frame. And there we have cheer.
Yay.
So now we can maximize the amount of time summons stick around.
You don't get a Keyblade, do you?
Nope, there is no 100 Acre Wood Keyblade in this game, although they would rectify that in later games.
Okay, good, because I feel like there's potential. Although what it would be, I can't really picture.
It's actually kind of useful in Kingdom Hearts 2, the Winnie the Pooh Keyblade in that one. Alright, gotta get another Navi Gummy on there to open up a new route to the next area.
Now, just remember what Donald
Why did
said to you.
Donald kind of yell that?
no sad faces.
How can you be so cheerful? There's still no sign of your king.
So Sora is suddenly down in the dumps here after being so chipper in 100 Acre Wood.
The king told us to go out and find the key bearer, and we found you.
It is kind of nowhere for him to be so discouraged right here. I guess coming off of the events of Neverland, maybe a little, but...
Yeah, to go from Kairi is here and she's kind of okay to...
I believe in you.
Bit of a glitch there. It teleports us to this room, which has background music, but they don't stop the background music quick enough, so you get a little bit of hint of the music track for this area. Look, it's little Kairi and her grandma. Ah, so here's where we get some of the backstory that they eventually expand on in Union Cross. But this cutscene is probably patient zero of Kingdom Hearts' dark, light, heart thing, because this cutscene is chock full of just saying light, dark, and heart over and over again.
It's interesting because the themes in this story are very similar to many stories talked about the Triforce and people fighting over it, especially Twilight Princess. But I'll also point out that the song here sounds extremely familiar or similar to a track you hear in Professor Layton, I think.
Oh yeah, and in regards to who won the fight over the light, Volpez.
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, just in Union Cross, they gamified the fight over the light, and there were 5 different factions, and one of them won every single monthly competition in a landslide, just because there were so many more people that joined that one, and due to the nature of the lore of it being collecting light, whoever has the most members wins.
Huh.
They couldn't do it by I'm trying to look for the word for it, but adjust it based off of relative population and be
right.
highest light per member or something.
Nothing.
Sora in his mind palace.
Did you call me?
Yeah, Sora going off and seeing something that didn't happen to him in a place he's never been to.
So I know he's a mechanic, but I can't help but picture him just smooshing these blocks together or pulling them off. I
mean, that's how it's described in the in that one Ansem report that we read, I think, last time, where you just sort of stick them together and they stick, and then you pull them and they pull off, but otherwise they don't come off.
Because it's just it's kind of ridiculous to picture, but... So now we have Transform. I've been curious about this the whole game.
And I will not be showing it off.
Aww.
That would require me to build a second gummy ship, and there's just no need for that.
Oh, is that how that works?
You create 2 separate ships, you put a Transform gummy on each, and you select them as, you pair them, and then you press a button while flying, and you'll swap between the 2.
Okay, that can be kind of cool if you want 2 different kits, I guess.
It's mostly useful in that I believe you're invincible during the transition.
Oh,
but
nice.
Otherwise, you can, apart from gummy missions where you usually need very specific builds, it's not really that useful to have 2 different ships because you can just put all of the relevant gummies on one and have an absolute unit. And when you're... There are a couple of gummy missions where being able to transform might be a little helpful, but it's usually just it's a thing that they figured out that they could do, and so they did it without thinking much about the application. But yeah, so now we're going to head back to the world and get all of the chests and trinities that we can get with our current kit. Still have to go back and get some things, but this should be most of it.
I noticed that chest had a sparkling keyhole on it and gave me a mithril shard. Is that usually consistent, or...?
No, it's just that the red chests and you have red chests, and you have these blue ones that have the keyhole on it, and generally speaking, the blue ones will have rarer stuff.
Oh, I just
They're a bit
noticed,
harder to get to, a little bit more out of the way.
I see. I just noticed that this Keyblade has the name Hercules on it, and I feel like there's got to be a name for when you take Greek letters and try to use them as though they were like Roman letter, or no, not Roman.
Latin.
Latin, thank you. I was like, where's our alphabet from again?
Yeah, but I mean, you can do that with any language. Like, there are fonts that make English letters look like the Russian ones, and make them look like Japanese, kanji.
Right. I'm just curious. There's got to be a term for that. I might look it up later. Well, it's funny. I would never come back to Wonderland, but it's nice to see secrets I never bothered.
They put a green trinity here.
Oh, that is bad.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be showing the process of flying between each of the worlds. I'm jumping from world
Why
to world.
bother?
It's fine.
It's
I mean, I'm cutting out a lot of crap in between. All right, so I'm trying to remember if this is
trap course.
Yes, this is.
Ah!
So I tried to do some of these vine courses legit, but the vines.
I hate the
you
vines.
get to the end, and there's just no way. Like, the timing is wrong, and you press it right, and you fly off, and you don't catch the vine. And I tried it several times, and eventually I just said, screw it. The correct thing to do to get scores and times in this is to use glide.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing it even a little early. You can cheese it even harder later. But don't bother. Just do... I'm not even sure you have to do the vines. I think you have to do one of them once, and then just don't.
Yeah, because there was a bunch of courses there, and you only did the vine one. Does the rest give you just kind of nothing of note?
There's no rewards for any of them. It's just to mark it off in your journal as complete. And I think you only have to do the one.
That's interesting.
Oh, there's another one of those net gummies.
Nice.
Dark matter, that's good synthesis material. So I'm always glad when I find one of those. There's only so many in the game. You have to make any others you need via synthesis.
Well, Goofy's dead.
Yep.
I'm kind of disappointed they don't have him make his stereotypical, like, I can't do it, but you know the Goofy scream.
Oh, yeah. Yahoo!
Yeah.
That's a terrible impression of it. But
I mean, it's probably... I could try and blow out my mic, but I'm not going to.
So there are only 4 yellow trinities in the entire game, and we have already activated 3 of them.
Oh, we don't have a boo, so that's how you do that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think a boo is only necessary for the long-distance ones that are, like, over water. And otherwise, you want to have Donald and Goofy around when you're cleaning up.
Oh,
yes.
Hastaga. Nice.
Hastaga or Hastega, I don't know how it's pronounced. However, in the original localization, that gummy is Haste 2G, but in the Japanese, it was Haste and Hastega, so I changed it to Hastega.
Is there a third level of haste or nah?
No, it was just Haste and Haste 2. That was a thing that they were kind of doing with some of the stuff in Kingdom Hearts 1, especially gummies, is that they would have when they needed it upgraded, they would call it a 2, but that is out of step with the naming convention for everything else.
So if they did have a Haste 3, what would be the convention for that?
If there was a Haste 3, then you would instead of going straight from Haste to Hastega, you would have Haste, Hastra, and Hastega.
Ah.
In keeping with the convention of no suffix ga throughout the series. And I want to say that's stayed pretty consistent even from the Final Fantasy Origins.
Because
Which is where all these spells come from.
all this ga is reminding me of the meme of, where are you from? Me? Gungaga. I don't know the context, I just know the meme.
So because Neverland is so short, there's a lot of... I think they kind of filled it with a bunch of stuff that you can only get later. So this cleanup is actually going to be a little bit longer than normal.
I guess we're to understand that Peter just kind of is like, I'm commandeering this ship.
Somewhat. All right, and this is the fourth and final Trinity push, Yellow Trinity.
Nice.
So never see that animation again.
You know, a thought just occurred to me. We have, like, Mr. Shmee, but we don't, like, Hook's crew is kind of replaced by the Heartless in this game.
Yeah, I mean, they would have had to make a whole bunch more NPC models, which is something that Kingdom Hearts has always shown difficulty with. It's like, hey, just have them be the Heartless, and then you can actually fight them and everything.
Yeah.
It's a very efficient solution. All right, and right here is...
Whoa!
We got Aurora, so now Arrow is worth using.
Nice. When
And
do we
the big
get
thing
level
about
3?
Aurora is that it automatically deflects projectiles.
Sick. Is it pretty late game to get the third version, or nah?
It's decently late game, yet you have to go to the next world and pretty much complete it in order to get it.
Well, at least we have something cool. Oh, so when that's lit up, those doors? Okay.
Yeah, the one that's lit up is the door. So this is the 1 o'clock door, since we're now at 13 hours on our in-game clock.
They should have set it to minutes. Because having to wait hour after hour is kind of a big ask.
Mm-hmm. So there are a limited number of orichalcums that you can pick up, but you can buy them for, admittedly, a lot of money. But it is technically infinite, so you can get as many as you want. Not too many differences, but you can see that we have both the nets now.
Nice.
But yeah, this ship is very rapidly approaching its final form.
Nice.
Well, anyways, we will be moving on to the next world next time on Kingdom Hearts Final Mix.